Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I have one of my favorite guests, a good friend with me today. I have with me back Ken from the We Are One podcast. Today I'm joined once again by returning guest Ken from the We Are One podcast. Ken is a reality researcher who explores simulation theory, Mandela Effects, synchronicities, conspiracy theories, hidden symbolism, and the deeper nature of reality itself. Today we're going to look into Apollo 11 and the moon mysteries, Saturn symbolism and the new Saturn, fallen angels and ancient lore, simulation theory, Mandela effects, synchronicities, hidden symbolism and media and history, and the nature of reality and human perception. And Ken just disappeared. Wait, where did he go? Let me see here. And let me see. I gotta add him back to the thing. And we'll wait for him to come back. He should back any second here. As people start to come in, we're starting to get people, joining the live, so that's good. I gotta shave. God damn. Damn, I need to shave. I should have turned the lights off. I'm definitely gonna shave right after this podcast, guys, for real. Ken, are you there? Or, something happened with Ken, guys. It says device is not connected, Ken, for some reason. So, hey, fearlessly phoenixing, good to see you. She says, made it. I love that picture. It's a nice picture. Okay, we're just waiting for Ken. He was here, and then he just disappeared. Let me see. Let me text him and see what's up. Where's Ken? Okay, he just disappeared off the screen, so I'm just gonna see what's going on. So yeah, but we're gonna be getting into like really interesting stuff tonight. Today, when he messaged me, he said he wants to get into the new Saturn, the Apollo. Okay. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I actually had to do like a Rumble Premium stream earlier because I have to stream 5 hours to Rumble Premium every month. Jason was in there. I saw. Yeah, we didn't talk that much, but like. We talk all the time. He's a good friend. That's just missing time. When you say missing time, you mean just Jason, fearlessly Phoenix thing. He's yeah. Ken, are you back? Can you hear me and everything? Is everything good? Ken? I don't know what's going on. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. What's going on, man? Ken, can you hear me? Maybe I'll have to come out and come back in. I don't think he can hear me, guys. Wait, maybe my microphone isn't on. That's why. Jesus Christ. They're really messing with us today. Oh, wait, my microphone is on. Yeah. Ken, can you hear me? Hello?
Testing.
Good. We're good. Can you hear me too?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
hear
you.
you.
You can't hear me? Shit. Let me see what's going on. Let me go out and come back in.
Speaker.
Give me one. Let me. I'll have to go out and come back in.
Testing. Can you say something?
Okay.
think I might be the only one on the show. Can y'all hear me? Can't see the comments. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Am I in the show? I don't even know what the hell is going on. I can't hear anything. Maybe he's jumped off. Fearlessly Phoenix, thank you for responding. I think I'm set up, but I think Rob's kicked off now. Well, y'all want to know why I don't do podcasts anymore? This is the reason. So total complete nonsense, and I just got shut off the second that he introduced me. It said my microphone is disconnected, so that's craziness. Let's see if he pops back on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, dude. I'm telling you, I think if I'm on to something, I can send you a screenshot of what just happened. The second you introduced me, everything, I didn't touch anything. I'm not sitting anywhere close to anything. It just said disconnected. And that wasn't the internet. It said microphone disconnected, camera disconnected. And I'm just sitting here going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like you're getting messed with. You know what I mean? It was so weird. Like, and the audience I don't know if they saw this on their side too. It's like you got up for a second, and when you went to sit down, everything slowed back down. Everything like slowed down. Like, you know what I mean? Like like seriously, like everything went like really majorly slow. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's even my internet right now. I think my internet's fine. I don't know how long it's going to be. You know, this is kind of why I wanted to talk, because I just don't have any motivation to get on the YouTube right now. I'm sorry, guys, if you guys watch me or you listen or you follow. It's just a series of ridiculousness that I can't control. I have nothing to do with the internet, with the computer. Both my computers crashed. It took me like 6 hours to even get them up and running again. I couldn't take the cache off. I couldn't delete programs. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I hate to say I'm being messed with. It sounds very cliche, but like it's really making me not want to do anything. So maybe this is not going to work. Maybe it's going to work. I don't know, but I feel like I have some interesting things to think about, and I don't proclaim to know anything as far as what I know. I just can put pieces together. That's kind of my superpower, is that I put the puzzle together, and then it seems like I'm proven right a lot. And it may not be like in the moment. It may be like a year down the road, or 6 months down the road, or 2 years down the road, whatever it is. But I'm seeing a lot of stuff go on right now, and I guess we can first talk about what I just looked into today. It came into my feed. I'm not going to say the names. You guys can look them up, because it's going to go back and forth. But if I say something wrong, then I might get kicked off or get kicked out, or I might get messed with again. I don't know. But if you guys have seen any of the Apollo astronaut stories about, I guess I could say those names, Michael Collins and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, you know that obviously I feel like that was not an accurate portrayal of what that was. So there's been some theories lately in the past, I guess past month or 2 months, that I've seen really ramp up about the 3 escapees from Alcatraz. I'm not sure if you've looked into that.
No, what's that?
Well, they placed the 3 guys that escaped from Alcatraz, quote unquote, in impossible circumstances through shark-infested waters, 1.5 miles of swimming to the bay, like 10-mile-an-hour currents. Like, this is back in 1962. Okay, so I'll get my years correct. And so like they match up 100% almost facial recognition wise to the 3 astronauts that I just mentioned before. So what got me down this little rabbit hole was looking at that, going, so I'm very inquisitive. I put pieces together. I start asking, Google and ChatGPT, and I don't follow them, just so you know they're always wrong. However, on historical data, they're usually correct. Like, they're good for finding out dates, names. So I started thinking, if it's an inside job, if they pulled these guys out, if they made them a deal, then I would think the FBI investigator on the story would be in on it. So here's what I found. You can look up the guy's name. The FBI investigator at the time looked into the situation, obviously. You see photos of him, like trying to find out where they went, if they actually escaped, are they dead, what happened to them. He's actually the same investigator that investigated a plane crash. I looked it up as far as who was on board. Nobody noticeably was on board of the Pacific airline crash, but apparently, this is really crazy. Apparently, in the Pacific airline crash with the same investigator, again, the same link as the investigator to me, because you either have to fool him, you have to pay him off, or get rid of him. That's how you have to do it. You can't just say that they put dummy masquerades, masks in their bed with some hair, and then the FBI just says, "Oh, we're good, forget about it," right? You have to cover it up somehow. So if you look at those two links, the guy that held a gun, this was when they could carry guns on planes, got into the cockpit, shot the pilot apparently. The co-pilot says the captain's down or something nonsense like that. Hey, they shot the captain, we're flying solo or something. So I'm not sure why he wouldn't shoot both the captain and the co-captain. Anyway, that's the story. The plane crashes. Same FBI investigator. So some people are getting ahead of that story, saying about the 3 astronauts. Well, how would they become astronauts in a few years or whatever it would be? Actually, 7 years. So plenty of time to do somebody training. But if you made them a deal, here's where it gets interesting. The same FBI investigator resigns from the FBI in 1969. The same year they were to become famous and go to the moon. Now you get that through your head. Okay, so I guess and he was 52 years old, I think.
Holy shit, dude.
So what I'm saying is my theory would say something like the investigator wasn't privy to any of this stuff, and he probably came out and said, "Hey, these 3 fuckers look a lot like the guys I've been chasing for the past 7 years that escaped from Alcatraz." And my guess is the FBI said, it's either time to resign or we're going to fire you and get rid of your pension and stuff. That's my guess. Very coincidental that the same exact year, these guys' faces were all over the TV for going to the moon. This guy resigns from the FBI at age 52 or 53. I'm not sure what year it was. I'm trying to remember. I looked at it this morning. But so anyway, that's very weird to me, right?
Yeah.
So that goes into kind of a lot of the space stuff, a lot of the screwery. Obviously, we could talk about the Challenger in '86 exploding. I actually saw it live. I was living in Orlando area. We watched all the shuttles go up. I saw it explode in the air. I went back in. It was on the TV. Krista McCullough was a teacher. Like, there's just so much stuff around it. But when you look at those two things that happened at the same playbook, I guess you can say, right? You can say that they knew what they were doing. All those astronauts, there's so much stuff considering on those astronauts. Forget that they're all facially recognized to people now, every one of them. Forget that, some of them have exactly the same name with exactly the same 100% facial recognition or 99.9% facial recognition, almost all of them. You start to go, what kind of game are they playing with our minds, right? And again, I don't want to go down the road of fear. I'm not going to go down the road of all that stuff. I'm just trying to put some pieces together so that as we progress through what we're doing with this conversation and what those 3 topics are today that I wanted to speak about, this is what happens. This is what they put us into. This is the fuckery that they objectify us into, right? So we know NASA is a joke. So yeah. I've been saying for a long time that I don't believe in space, as we're told. Now I don't know if there are planets that other things are on, that we're going to get into that in a second, as far as my theory about that. But I don't know if you were aware of any of those facts that I mentioned about Alcatraz and Apollo.
That's so interesting, dude. And Fearlessly Phoenixing adds in, she says absolutely, and escaping from a place that is impossible to do so.
Yeah, there's no way they could have escaped at that time. There's no way. It's not possible. Al Capone was there. Al Capone had all the resources and money in the world, and he didn't get out of there. They released him, I believe, and he died in Florida. That's another kind of a Mandela effect thing, but we don't talk about that right now.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that real quick. What happened with Al Capone? Did he die in jail, or you said he died in Florida, so he got out, or what?
I thought he died in jail. That's how I remember it, but I don't have a solid remembrance of that. But I do know, according to what timeline or what story we're on or what we're talking about now, he died at his home in Florida with his kids around him. Jesus, I think it was in Miami. So anyway,
this reality is absolutely not what we think it is. Like that's why I love having you on, Ken, because like you always bring up stuff like this, and it's amazing but it absolutely makes me question, like, why would they even go to like such depths to do that? But they absolutely did. So it's like, what is going on? You know what I
They
mean?
knew they had to control. They knew they had to control the three guys that they were going to lie to, and I absolutely 100% believe, based on everything that I've seen a lot of stuff, I've seen almost every interview, I've seen almost every, Buzz Aldrin's reaction, telling the little girl, we didn't go to space. I wish we did. Maybe one day we'll be able to, do that. I've seen all those videos. I've seen all those reactions. I absolutely believe that those three guys thought they were going to the moon. That was their job. And they did not go to the moon. That's obvious. But
Yeah.
I believe that they didn't know they were going to get duped until they came back, which is why you see them at the press conference like this. They knew they had to put on a show or an act or whatever it was.
Well,
and they knew
I heard
they
Aldrin turned into like an alcoholic. I heard Buzz turned into an alcoholic, and then they took him to like Antarctica or something. He went to Antarctica, and he said about all the shit that he saw in Antarctica. I heard, like, why did they take him to Antarctica? That was a weird thing too.
Yeah, there's a lot of side stories that I'm not sure. I just saw a podcast today about I tried to type in, astronauts, 3 astronauts, Apollo 11 and Alcatraz, and this lady was trying to channel some spirit. She said some nonsense that I was like, I guess I can say it's nonsense. Her and another lady were talking about it, and one lady was saying she was channeling what was going on, and she said that they were taken from the prison. They were FBI agents already. They were going to see how that was set up, and then they were going to go to the moon and set up an Alcatraz prison on the moon. Like they were in charge of consulting. I'm like, are you shitting me, lady? Like, what are we talking about here? This is the most ridiculous crap ever. This is what they put out there to make you think that anything's possible. Anything is this. It's freaking ridiculous. But as we get into the NASA, the space topic, I was driving home from playing soccer last night, and my game got rained out with my 2 buddies in the back. And I'm driving home. First, we had to go east because it's on the Clearwater Beach, almost on the beach. So we're driving north, and so the moon is to my left, my driver's side, and it's like a Cheshire cat moon, right? And beside it, maybe like just barely beside it, super bright in the sky, was something that I thought was either a UFO or a planet. And I go, what is that? Is that a planet? Like, what planet is that? To see the planet that was that bright, it was actually Venus. I didn't know that. Venus was like supposed to be super close. So anyway, I'm not saying that the moon is not there. I'm not saying that it's inside this simulacrum, this firmament, whatever it is. That's for sure. The sun's within the firmament. But I bought a telescope, a nice telescope, to go watch some of these eclipses when I was in Georgia, and all you see is the shimmering light. So
do you see satellites ever?
No, you can't see anything. And that's the other thing. You're sending up these Nemesis rockets, and there's 60,000 objects in the orbit. But
supposedly Elon Musk has 60,000 satellites up in space, supposedly.
Well, there's like 30,000+ satellites active, and then there's old satellites that are still in orbit. Go figure that one out. But talk about gravity, I guess another day and time. But they're still orbiting. But all these cameras that shoot up there, 60,000 of them. I know the space is big, and people will say, well, you're not going to see them. You're going to see them eventually. They're going to be in orbit, right? Somebody's going to have a picture of one of these things, or they're going to get hit with aluminum shrapnel or whatever the hell is flying around you at 100,000 miles an hour. It's just ridiculous to think that we haven't seen any of these pictures yet. And I say pictures, not images, because an image is not a picture. An image is a doctored photograph. That's what an image is. Anytime you hear image, you can think AI, you can think anything you want, but it's not photo. It's not an actual shot.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking, Ken? I was thinking they don't want us to know whatever's going on up there too, because it was like they had that Artemis mission, and supposedly those Artemis people went and saw the moon. They saw the dark side of the moon, and like there was nothing up there. But I was telling people there was this kid. I'm trying to find him. I don't know where he went. His name was Miles Moonbases. He was never into like any of this stuff like that we talk about, But one day he bought this is back in like 2008 or 2009. He bought like a phone, and he started, for whatever reason, he started taking pictures of the moon, and he was getting like amazing pictures of the moon, and he was like getting some shit that showed like there was something going on up there. So I absolutely, whatever the moon is or wherever it is, I think more is going up on there. And I think absolutely, like you said, NASA is absolutely a joke and a lie. Like, I think they wanted to put that Artemis mission out to make it look like nothing is up there, like nothing's going on. But meanwhile, we don't even know what's going on.
So of course you have stories about, astronauts have said, well, we can't talk about what we saw on the moon. We can't talk about the aliens, the bases and stuff. First of all, if we were told never to go back to the moon, why did we go back so many freaking times after that? After that. Not before that. It wasn't the last mission. China went up, Russia went up. If everybody was told this, why we keep sending guys to the moon after the fact?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm not buying any of that crap. It's all side spin. There's no way any of that's just my opinion. Again, I don't know anything. But I started thinking about how everything looks, how it oscillates. Looks like it's through water. So possibly there's water above, like the firmament the Bible says, or biblical texts say. So my mind starts going in a different direction.
This is Miss Tessa Marie. Nice picture. She says, I don't know how they can get through the radiation belt. The International Space Station is below the belt.
Oh, way below it. I mean, the International Space Station is in lower Earth orbit. Lower. So you want to talk about space or outer space. We've never been to outer space. No person has ever been to outer space, period. That's not even debatable. The moon isn't even in outer space, according to NASA. And whatever they come to that. But, the lights oscillate, the planets oscillate, any telescope, not talking about an image that was doctored or messed with or filtered or whatever it is, an actual photograph. There's been no photographs of any planets, no stars, no nothing that doesn't oscillate like a vibration or a frequency. And again, I think it's probably because that's through water. It's either big or not.
Yeah, and then Fearlessly Phoenixing says, Miss, she was saying to that girl, she said, right, I was super confused. She said, I thought we couldn't get past, what is it, the Van Allen belt? Yeah.
There's I've heard there's a lot of misinformation, and we don't know what's true or what's not. The head of NASA said we couldn't replicate the technology. Okay, that's fine, no problem. Doesn't mean we didn't go back. I understand all the situations of maybe we're doing it differently, and they don't want to tell us. Understood. Like I don't want to talk about how the could be might be. We're just trying to tie in potential conspiracies or potential theories of what is a planet, what is space, why are we being lied to, in terms of that? Why are we picking out fugitives and having them fake moon missions? Why are we blowing up shuttles and not blowing up the astronauts? Or I shouldn't say it like that. You know what I mean? We pulled the astronauts off the ship, and then the spaceship goes up and it gets blown up, and it was blown up for sure, 100%, because I watched it live. But the astronauts are still alive. So we're doing all these things. And we're being told all these things about space, and there's a lot about Saturn. Obviously, there's the Saturn worship. There's the occult. There's the rings around Saturn. And what we got going on now is like we're going from 5G to 6G. We have the Van Allen radiation belt, which is what she talked about. My other potential theory is, and it's being formed as we speak, sort of, because it's with bits of information, is that Saturn is maybe another Earth that has those rings around it that are enslaving, if there's humanity there. And I'm not saying we can get through on a space shuttle to go to Saturn. I'm just saying if it's an inhabitable planet, those rings are potentially some kind of a lock on their matrix. And is that what we're doing here? Are we building a new Saturn here? And if you think about humanity and what we do, whether you're a human being or you're a fallen angel or you're a son, whatever you are, whatever stage of human God built you and built the different humanities. What we do is we decorate, with where we're from, where our ancestry is, where our lineage is from. We've got Italian flags. I'm Italian. We've got, I know you are too, in Syrian. We've got, the Mexican flag, Puerto Rican Day Parade. We have all those things. So what makes the most sense to me is that Saturn was a preliminary, because the Bible even says this too. It says when the earth was created. Well, if the earth was created, we came somewhere else, or humanity, or there is another humanity somewhere else. So what I'm thinking is that potentially Saturn was the home of humanity before Earth was ready, right? Does that make sense? And so when we talk about Saturn,
someone wrote that. Yeah, sorry, I was gonna say someone wrote that book, The Ringmakers of Saturn. Did you ever? I think it was Norman Paulson or something like that. It was an interesting book back in the 70s.
I haven't heard of that. To my knowledge, I haven't heard anybody talk about this in general. But I do believe that what we're doing to this planet, potentially making some kind of a matrix, and it's been talked about a lot. It's not me just saying this, that potentially this is either a soul trap realm or it's some kind of a matrix that we're trying to terraform the Earth. And Elon talks about it all the time. Elon used to talk about it like 10 years ago, and he said, we need to get the hell off the Earth. Well, I don't know why you would want to get the hell off the Earth unless something is being terraformed to keep us here. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I absolutely believe we are. But about this book, it was called, this is skeptical already. The Ringmakers of Saturn in 1986 was by former NASA engineer Norman Berggren. And it says he presents the controversial claim that Saturn's rings are created and maintained by massive cigar-shaped extraterrestrial vehicles. Analyzing Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 images, Berggren argues that these 7,000-mile-long, light-emitting craft produce ring structure and gaps.
I would say it's an interesting theory, but I would say no. Just my interpretation is if what we're doing here is building some kind of a network to encapsulate frequency of humanity, whether it be to mess us up or whether it be to just project a holographic structure. I mean, look at some of the movies that have been telling us this, that there's holograms in the sky, or that Project Bluebeam's coming. The only way they can do that is if they make the structures to project the blue beam holograms so that we can't tell the difference. And if we can't get up there to figure out what it is, how are we going to know? So in my opinion, what makes the most sense is that Saturn was the prior predecessor to humanity. And when these occultists are praising other gods or fallen angels, we'll get into that in a second, when they're praising them, they're giving homage to our prior homeland of Saturn, the Saturn cube or whatever it might be. So they're saying we are giving homage to Saturn because that's where our lineage is from, or that's where our gods are from. And so we could be terraforming this as the frequency rings speed up, or the radiation speeds up. It may not even be a radiation belt, Fearlessly Phoenix. It could be, or whoever said that, it could be that is just a field. I mean, I guess you can call it radiation if it's going to harm humanity or if it won't be passed through. But the other way to look at it is it's not radiation; it's a frequency field.
Some people think it's like a frequency fence to keep us trapped in here. A lot of some people think it's actually
It could be an electromagnetic field. Absolutely, it could be. Yep.
So, what do you think? Do you think like we're being terraformed by some other race that doesn't want us here, or something?
So let's get into this other one, right? So there's another YouTuber that came out a few years ago, and he's been getting very, very popular with his fallen angel philosophy. He's called the Fittest Flat Earther. He actually lives in Fort Myers. He's probably about 2 hours from me, although he doesn't want friends or people to deceive him. He makes a lot of correlations with fallen angels, and it does make sense that these fallen angels can transform their identity, but they always keep their scars, seems to be. I sent you a video this morning about some Bible verses that mention very, very similar wordage about these people transforming their identities to remain here on Earth in this realm that are cast down from the skies. And if you start putting a lot of these pieces together, it's where the Freemasons come from. Enlightenment is 33rd degree Masons, which is God mated with human women, and their offspring became what? A third. So now that's as high as humanity can get, is a third. Original bloodline can be a third of a god. So 100%, 50%, the kid is 33, 1/3 of that. So like that's, again, my theory, my theoretical propositions of how the 33rd degree Masons operate and what 33 means. 33 and a third, what 333 or 666 means, is a lot of that kind of stuff. So when we're talking about fallen angels and them shape-shifting, they're not actually species or reptilians, is what he's saying. And I resonate with some of that for a lot of it. Let me give you an example. It's going to knock you off your chair. So Jay-Z is whoever the hell Jay-Z is, or whoever is inhabiting his soul, spirit, body. He made a deal with Baal, devil, whatever it is. They make deals with they can be inhabited by these gods, right? So they can jump bodies. The halftime performer last year for Super Bowl was Kendrick Lamar. He had a song called "They're Not Like Us" or "Not Like Us." So when you originally hear that, my first thought was, is he trying to tell me that he's not like human? Is he trying to say that? So in his verse, he said, let me read you the actual verse in one of his verses. All right. First of all, he says, I see dead people. They not like us. He talks about 69 gods, which is fake gods. But here's the line that gets
about
me.
69 and a god? What's he doing? For real? What?
Yeah, he's talking about somebody else, I think. But this is part of the same song. This is part of the song in Not Like Us. He says, quote, I'm about to pass off this body, or I'm sorry, I'm about to pass on this body. I'm John Stockton. How can you pass off a body? And that means he's changing bodies. He's about to change bodies.
Dude, what's so crazy is I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, and I've never even paid attention to his, and I usually pay attention to all lyrics, but like with the way he raps, it's like it's very different. It's almost like when you listen to it, you can't understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's done on purpose. You know?
No, I think it's just the way that he raps, the way that he does that, and I talk to my wife about this a lot too. That I think that absolutely that. And this is another side note. I talk about the immortality of a human soul in a second. I think that people make deals with the devil or with the dark side, or however that works. They make a deal, and what the deal is they're selling their soul, but they're allowing someone to inhabit them and live through them that's already here. So basically, he can jump souls, he can jump bodies, live through them, propel them, take their markings from their own self to the new body, and when they're done. It's not that the talent is completely gone, like in Eminem's case or in a lot of other cases. They just, when they leave that body alone, the soul leaves that body, the body's almost either soulless or it's trapped like in Get Out. And what that means is they can jump. And when they jump, that Hall of Fame career that guy was in, that guy's done. He's sucked with all his energy, his liveliness, whatever it is. He's using him as a puppet and he's enjoying the ride and then he's jumping off. And that's how I think it's going with some of these people. And I believe that. So
do you think, I just got an idea. Do you think they inhabit the whole soul for a little bit to let the person experience fame, but then take the soul? Like they actually, just leaving them soulless. Like, do you think that, and that leaves them kind of like trapped in this, like you said, like the entity will actually take the soul, or they make a contract where the entity actually gets the soul and they don't know that, you know?
Yeah. No, they know. I think that they know. I think that they know, and I think that they allow them to kind of go along for the ride. They don't really have much free will anymore, but I think that there are some things that they can do. So we can give you some examples. Okay, so you see the celebrities, Ariana Grande, you see The Rock, you see these people turn into like other people once that body leaves, once that spirit leaves, once that demon or that angel leaves, they're done. They're flushed. They lose a boatload of weight. They may even go to Ariana Grande says they go to the recycling center or whatever it is to get their soul erased or memory erasure center, whatever she calls it. There's so much to this that people say. Justin Bieber, I don't know if he was taken forcefully. And again, I don't want to speculate about what it is, but like when they turn to like Jesus after, or when Eminem talks about Jesus after, he knows about the process. But I don't think he can say the whole process because they'll just kill him. They literally have the access to do whatever they want to him, and they'll just get rid of that body. And you think, oh, Eminem died or whatever. He's dead a long time ago, most likely. Or all these actors that have these accidents. Kevin Hart is all of a sudden one of the worst comedians in comedy. And then they get these Netflix specials or whatever it is, and you're like, is he even doing comedy anymore? This dude isn't the same guy. What is going on here? Jim Carrey, almost the same thing. You know, they put somebody else in there.
Did you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this was a big one. This was big on X. Have you seen John Travolta? Dude, it looks like they rolled out a new clone for this guy. He's supposedly 72 years old. He looks younger than
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 46. I probably look like I'm 40 years old. You know, I'm not giving myself credit, but I don't think I look 46. But dude, John Travolta looks younger than it's insane.
It was incredible. Yeah, well, give it a few years. In my opinion, when that fallen angel leaves his body, he's gonna be like The Rock. He's gonna turn and lose, like, all of his energy, all of his power. He's gonna be gone. And they'll say, oh, he just got sick or he got whatever. But I think that's all the split soul entrapments that happen when you make those deals. And I don't know how many fallen angels there are. They said there's 200 fallen angels on this earth. Now, I'll throw something out there that I'm just going to say it because I don't know how else to say it. But is it possible? I like saying that for like Chris Sinatra. Is it possible that the human souls are immortal? There's a very large number of NPCs, and we are all fallen angels as well, but we have forgotten. So we're not going to leave, but we don't know what's going on. And is that why we are discerning and being able to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people have been getting popped forever. I think when they say that they don't want the ride to continue, I think they just say that's fine. You can. There's your two choices. We'll reincarnate you, or we're gonna, you're gonna be owned for life. You're staying here for life.
Yeah. This is a funny one from Hillbilly Herb. He says, is Travolta getting ready for Pulp Fiction 2? He says he lives and takes over the business from Marcellus Wallace after eating the spirit in the briefcase. That's probably happening in real life, Hillbilly Herb. Like, he's probably living that out to some degree.
If you guys, Chappelle's been cloned for 100% sure. I mean, or not, sorry, not I don't know about cloned, but he's been shifted. If you guys follow the fittest flat earther, I agree with some things that he says about these things, and he'll show you all the markings. And what's crazy is the spouses to me. He'll show like 20 or 30 spouses from the 1800s, 1900s that look exactly like the same spouse now.
Wow.
And I don't know how that works. He says they're sirens or whatever that might be, but like it seems to be getting a little traction. And I don't know if it's going to go somewhere or if it's going to be one of those psyop things too. But the fallen angels is fascinating, especially considering that it kind of like borders into the New Age philosophy of immortality. Humans are immortal in the soul, and I believe that humans are immortal. I'm not sure why, if these gods were so powerful, these fallen angels were so powerful, why they would need to inhabit us unless they're just bored because they're damned for eternity. I don't know.
Well, you brought up a good point, like how you said it goes into the New Age stuff, but it's like it's a flat earther talking about. Like, I think we need to mix all this stuff, and we need to have conversations like this, and be open minded about it to where we're like, hey, we don't know the answers, but we're just like presenting it, and that's kind of like where I like to go on this show because I feel like everybody could have a piece of the puzzle, and we truly have no idea what's going on here. I mean, we have we have theories, but this place could be, it's insane. You know what I mean? So it's like we need everybody to, to be open-minded and just come up with ideas as far as what is actually going on here. You know what I mean? With all this,
can you pull up Claire? Claire Claude 4993 says, no, Jesus is going to save you from this. Only knowing spiritual mechanics.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Oh, here, yeah. She says, oh wait, if people can't handle the black goo, they go nuts. Yeah, that's let me see here.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow that comment right there. So Claire, I'm hopefully you're listening. His name was never Jesus. It was not a transliteration. Okay, I can give you even more proof that Jesus is a false front. And I was raised Catholic, so I don't know if the figure of Jesus is incorrect or just the name is incorrect. And again, my opinion only. I mean, you can look up that the J wasn't invented till 1700, whatever it was. It was added to the Bible. It's not a translation. It's not a transliteration. But all these people who are occultists, Claire, all of them have no problem saying Jesus. They follow the same worship pattern that is not the figure of Jesus, not the way that he lived, not the morality. I'm not knocking that part. I don't know if that's accurate or not. And I'm not trying to upset anyone or whatever, but the name Jesus isn't going to do anything for you, number one, okay? Because that wasn't his name. No one ever called him that. That's not how it was spelled. That's not how it was pronounced. I can't go back in time and say, Rob, you know, you in 2,000 years, I'm going to start calling you microphone. Oh, praise microphone's name. Who the fuck is microphone? It's not even the same thing as Rob. It's not Rob.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, you can say Jesus, you can say whatever. That's fine. But Jesus is not in Jesus' name. Amen. There's tons of those sayings where you have to say Jesus the way that it's said, and that's not correct. And if that's what you want to look into, I would suggest that you look into your own do your own research on that. But the Jesus narrative is followed by all of the occult.
Yeah. It's
if they're lying to you, why are they telling you that truth?
Yeah, she followed it up. She said, she says, J Zeus, not J in the Hebrew alphabet. She's saying, I don't know.
Jesus. Well, I mean, Zeus was a god. I mean, and Jesus means hail Zeus, I think, but I'm not. Again, I don't know everything. I'm not trying to.
She said, "This is an interesting comment." She said, "Fairly speaking, she says, see, I look at Jesus like the game creator. He saw things were not going the way he wanted and was not supposed to. And he made himself an avatar and came in and was like, yo, bro."
Phoenix, I can get behind that. That's fine, but then we can't just call him, because the name has been hijacked. Is what I'm saying. My whole purpose is the name was hijacked.
Yeah,
the name's hijacked. Yeah. The purpose is hijacked. The Catholic Church is hijacked, and I'm Catholic or was Catholic. I don't know if the original Catholic Church, had things to prepare. So the dogma of religion is so interesting because we don't know what was talked about originally, right? We don't know. I don't know that the church wasn't set up, or all churches haven't been set up, or religion have not been set up to help humanity escape whatever nonsense is going on around us, or help us at least cope. I don't know that it wasn't, but I know one thing's for sure: it's been hijacked. And the way I can prove that it's been hijacked is look at the Vatican archives that have not been released. Look at the Vatican dealing with occultists and Satanists and Luciferians. They're all in the same boat. It's not even debatable. Look at the cathedral underneath the Vatican. I mean, if they're saying that that Jesus is the name and the way and the Lord and the light and amen, then I'm going the other way. No way, not a chance. And then the historical facts of the J and the name and the transliteration and the West Huffs and those guys who don't want you to think about it. They want to say that I'm the professional, I'm the scholar. So believe everything that I tell you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're going to go with that, you might as well just stay asleep, because the other way may not lead you to peace, but it might lead you to truth.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. I agree. I absolutely agree. Kentucky Bigfoot says religion has been weaponized. I feel like it has too. I always say the three major religions: Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. You look at what's going on in the Middle East. That tells you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? And them saying that Pete Hegseth, wants, our director of war, or whatever, wants to make this like a holy war. But then they say there's like the Greater Israel Project, and Israel's trying to take over places to do whatever, bring in their savior or their Messiah. You hear all these conspiracy theories, but it's not just that. It's it's the Muslims and the Jews that have been fighting each other for years, and now the Christians have fought them. It's just it's always ongoing. You know what I mean? These religions fighting each other. And
it's absolutely pointless when you look into it, because the J religion killed their savior, and now he's the savior. I mean, you guys killed him. So there's so much into that. When I was a kid, and this is a true story. And I grew up in Altamont Springs, and they used to come knocking on our door with the
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
I remember that.
And I was like 7 years old, and I remember telling the guy, I said, if you can explain one thing to me, I'll listen to you. And I'm like 7, by myself at the door. And I said, you knew that Jesus was the savior, right? Because the 3 wise men came to Bethlehem to recognize his birth, but you let him get crucified? You didn't see that one coming? How do you know a baby's going to be the Messiah and then let him get killed?
Yeah.
Let's think about that for a second. So the religion is just a complete freaking dogmatic psyop. And I'm not saying that doesn't have basis or doesn't have It doesn't have purpose, but it's been hijacked at a lot of levels. And for what reason, I don't know. I'm not here to discern that. I don't. Maybe I'll figure that out before I die. Maybe I won't. It's probably the first thing I'm going to ask. My God, if I go up there and I ask him, is this for real or what is this? But there's a lot of questions I have about that whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, like, let me see here. This was from Liz. I'll get through some of these. This is from Fearlessly Phoenix. She says, I think they used the guy they killed was like anyone else killed, and they used the narrative they wish, And then this is from.
There's Phoenix. There's been a lot of, and again, I haven't discovered it. I haven't been to the Tibetan temples, but apparently, there's been a lot of shared stories about somebody they called Jesus, or whatever. I think they call him Jesus in the Tibetan temples. They marked him as somebody who came from that area of the world and did specific healing things. And then there's also the Egyptian schools and stuff, those stories as well. So there are multiple layers of either dissemination, unfactual information being verified. Again, if we don't verify it personally, how do we know that? I can't listen to Billy Carson and think that this guy's serious when he's talking about space travel and stuff, and then he's completely caught off guard because he's sick or whatever it might be, and he just starts speaking nonsense to Wes Huff. And then Wes Huff is another one that's completely ridiculous in whatever he's teaching. Like, these are the people that are supposed to be teaching us about how to be better people, how to manage peace on Earth, and then they just spout this information off. They're not advisors. Go verify it for yourself, or just take it with a grain of salt. It's fine if you want to believe it. The Christian church has a word that defines its entire religion. It's called faith. If you can prove it, it wouldn't be faith. If we can verify it, it wouldn't be faith. The whole purpose of faith is that so you don't verify.
Yeah, that's so this is a good episode. This is really good. Missy Hill is in the audience. She says it's been hijacked for loosh harvesting. I would agree with that. It seems like it, Seems like a lot of things we do here like loosh harvesting,
I can't get behind that, and here's why. I have my reasons for these things, and I'm happy to discuss them and talk to you about loosh harvesting. So Robert Monroe was the one that said loosh harvesting. He's the one that did, the Monroe Institute, the binaural beats, all that stuff, right? About astral travel.
Out-of-body travel.
But Tom Campbell was there with him, right there with him. And Tom Campbell doesn't agree with loosh. So if Tom Campbell, who's been a physicist as long as Robert Monroe was right there with him with all the experiments, why isn't Tom Campbell talking about loosh as well? Tom Campbell does not believe in loosh. He does not believe this is a soul harvesting farm. And so I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. What I'm saying is, if it's so obvious that it's loosh, then Tom Campbell should have the same exact thoughts that Robert Monroe, his mentor, had.
But see, like I've had entity attachments, or it's not like entity, but I've had energy attachments, and it feels like they're feeding off like my energy field. Like, what I mean? That's the only way I can explain it. Like it's weird. Like it's like, So I think some that does exist to some extent. I just don't know how much. I mean, I can't prove anything. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's Rocco Staldo. He was on last night. He's funny. He's a good friend. I
think he's got the onk. He's got the onk. Is he a Gnostic?
Dude, now that we have more people in here, we have like 60 people in the chat. We should represent this theory. I mean, for the people that like just started at the beginning, this theory that you said that you think that the three guys that escaped from, this is so fascinating, that escaped from Alcatraz are the astronauts.
It's hard to find. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It's hard to find. If you put in YouTube or Google, it's gonna be a little hard to find. Even the theories of it, the three astronauts side by side faces equal the astronauts three side by side faces, almost identically. Again, the FBI investigator Don, I forgot his name. I looked it up this morning, but the FBI investigator, it's easy to find out who was the FBI investigator on the Alcatraz escapes. Those three, that FBI investigator resigned from the FBI in his early 50s, the same exact year that those guys went to the moon. So in my opinion, he would have either brought that to someone's attention, and he was told to either retire or take consequences, or there's another reason that magically he resigned the same year those guys went to the moon.
Yeah.
You can find it though. It's not that easy to find, but you can find it.
This is an interesting comment. This is from Niche fan.
Wait,
says,
what?
I vividly remember Oprah saying, "Look under your seats before giving an entire audience a car."
Shut the fuck up. There's no way. There's no way.
Now that he's been brought out of the
There's no
box.
way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. That can't be right.
What, do you remember it?
Remember it? I used to watch that. I used to watch that. I watched every show, and I thought Oprah was a Looney Tune sex trafficker even 20 years ago with the kids.
Yeah.
The only people she had at her show and this is also something I looked up a long time ago. So I used to say that no one becomes famous by themselves.
Yeah.
They're made famous. They're made famous. Who the hell is Oprah to have her own show and be as mogully as she became? Well, I'm gonna tell you who. One of her neighbors that she lived next door with her big house in Chicago was the executive producer and the front man for her empire to do that. So I don't know if that doesn't prove anything as far as me shouting at Oprah, but there's no way that she didn't say look under your seats. Yeah, she gave away something every show. I mean, I think it was almost every show. If it wasn't every show, it was damn near every show.
What's so funny is when I go to a UFO conference here in Pittsburgh and the girl does that there, she'll do that to the audience at the end of the thing. She'll say, look under your seats. There's a prize for someone who finds, the thing, and they have it. So maybe she got that from Oprah. I got to ask her.
Or it could just be a change on the videos. I mean, I see that it says look under your seat for a car. But no, I think every show she said look under your seats, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't just for a car. That's not what it was. Who she gave money to, like Obama. Yeah, I mean, Obama. I mean, if you watch The Fittest Flat Earther, Obama is Tutankhamun. I mean, they look exactly the same, to be honest. I don't know if Michael Obama, if maybe Tutankhamun was like men, and then he reincarnated.
Michael Obama, that's hilarious.
Oh, come on, you don't know that one? That's not.
I know. I just laugh at it every time.
That's a fact. Like, I mean, you.
It's hilarious, man. I believe it though. What's so funny is I watch like food reviews on YouTube when I'm not into this stuff, and I was watching one there on this diner here in Pittsburgh, and supposedly this diner called Pamela's here in Pittsburgh is like Obama's favorite place to go eat, which is like.
So pull this coming up. Hillbilly Herb, Ed McMahon, because I was going to talk about this. I was going to talk about this. I was going to talk about this. So here's how this may relate to what we just talked about. Okay. So if you've been with us the whole show, I've kind of outlined the Fittest Flat Earther talking about fallen angels, soul chasing, soul harvesting into another body, or living multiple bodies, living multiple roles. I think that my theory with this is that you can change the past only when one of those fallen angels is one of the characters, like Tom Hanks, Ed McMahon, Oprah. Yeah. I think that might have some legs, and I wanted to ask. I guess that was a great comment. I really heard Ed McMahon absolutely did. It's not even debatable. There's a number of them for me that are absolutely they're undeniable. The creator of, I say this all the time, the creator of the Jungle Book, actually the animator, not the creator, excuse me. The animator of the Jungle Book with Baloo's bikini. Again, I was raised in Orlando, so I know about that. My sister worked for Disney. My mom worked for Disney for a short period of time. My sister was a dancer. She lives in Vegas now. Anyway, hey Dina, if you're watching. But the Baloo's bikini, there was a Netflix special that the animator had specifically talked about the entire bikini scene, and now it's a coconut beak. The animator, the guy who drew it and wrote it. So again, I'm into the Mandela effect a lot, but it doesn't really affect my life because I don't know how the hell it works. However, talking about the fallen angel stuff, it appears that a lot of these actors, the famous ones, are potentially the fallen angels, if when they shift, it's signaling to us that they're shifting. Maybe like if Tom Hanks shifts a body into somebody else and becomes famous with same facial markings, that there's a Mandela effect on Tom Hanks to tell us, yo, pay attention. Like, I think that there's markers like that, and I don't think anyone else has said that before, but you guys are listening to this, you guys can verify this. Go back and look at some of those timelines potentially when that happens, and let's see if we can figure this crap out, because we can't do it alone. I mean, I can think about this stuff 24/7 for the most part, about putting stuff together in pieces and stuff, but I probably would never have found the Oprah one. I have to go look at that one. It's not a one episode under either. There's no freaking way.
This is wait, I missed the comment. This is from Missy.
Ellen's another one. When I met my wife was a big Ellen fan. I was like, that pedophile? This is like 15 years ago. Like, yeah,
it's not just a P file. It's the achrome too. You know what I mean? It's
you talked about Antarctica. My theory of Antarctica is that's where they're storing the servers, because they don't need water to cool the servers for AI down there, to harness the rest of the stuff. They only need a cool place to do it. So that's my theory.
The servers that like control this matrix, you think?
I think it's terraforming the Earth. I think it's terraforming the Earth. No matter whichever way you want to put it. If you really sit down and think about how your cell phone works, think about that. Think about what we're doing right now.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that like
technology it's not possible. Yeah, the technology has always been here. Always been here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Isn't it crazy? Like, we grew up in a time, Ken, we're about almost close to the same age. We grew up in a time when there was none of this, right? And then I remember right when I turned 15 was like the internet. And then when I was 20, it seemed like phones started getting big. And by the time I was 25 years old, we had like full-blown like internet and cell phones.
The internet. It was crazy. I don't know. I'm not saying it was the internet, but the internet is when all the weird shit started happening to me. Like, when I would pop in, I told a story before. I popped in The Ring, and I had my computer on ESPN site, didn't touch it. I popped in The Ring, and the first pop-up ad I ever saw was The Ring on my computer, a pop-up ad back in, I don't even know what year that shit was. I was living back at home. I was probably 20 years old. So 30 years ago, AOL Online, Messenger, whatever that was. Then I've had a disconnected call from, I believe, myself in the future on a Nokia 8820 or whatever it was, that interrupted my transmission and was like, so like there's so much shit that happened to me, and it all happened after the internet. So I believe you. I think that's why I think it's technology. It's an advancement of technology that's terraforming what's going on. I don't think Epstein Island has anything down there that we want to see. I think it's all somewhere else. Or they're hiding something else there they don't want us to go to.
Jason makes a funny point. He says, "Let's go back to messenger pigeons." That's so funny. Can you imagine putting your whole like hopes and dreams in the hands of a pigeon, that it takes that message to like
do you think
the world or God knows where? That'd be crazy.
I think that was a whitewashing. I don't think that was like, if you think about 200 years ago, the technology that we've been told that we had was nothing.
Or Ken, wait, or you're gonna think I'm crazy for this, or the pigeons were technology and they didn't know, because there's those people who think the birds are robots.
There's a theory that they are electromagnetic drones.
That's insane. Yeah.
The new one is Panda. The panda is not a real thing. Pandas are like nothing. There's nothing that makes them do anything but it's like eat bamboo, and that China genetically made them up to eat bamboo or some nonsense. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now.
They're the funniest looking animal, though, pandas. They look hilarious. Like, I don't know, like oh man. What was this? This is from Nancy. She says, yeah, I do remember something. Those women went crazy when they found that they had car keys. Yeah, see, people remember. It's just like how people remember Ed McMahon coming to the house with a big check. It's like, it's something.
I'm trying to remember. Okay, so you Oprah people. What did she say? I'm trying to flash back to my mind. She was like, you get a something, you get a something, you get a something. It wasn't one car. It was everybody in the audience got something. Like
Yeah, I remember that. I remember there were times where her and Ellen gave the whole audience cars
what
or
the hell
something
was
like
she
that.
yelling? You get a something? What the hell was
Yeah.
she yelling? I'll probably remember it in like 10 minutes when we're off the air, but yeah,
Dude, I love doing these shows. This is so interesting.
Saturday Night Live show, I think too, when they mocked her. I bet you that if you guys Google, there's a skit with Oprah doing the under your chair skit. I'll bet you there's a boatload of them out there.
Yeah. This was a great show. This was so interesting. Like, oh man, this is really interesting. Like,
I don't know, the geographical shifts of continents really gets me too, because I used to have one of those sets where it had like the world on those little puzzle pieces that were like pre-cut, and you had like a little wooden knob on top, and you could put the countries. I could know every country. I love that thing to put like it wasn't a puzzle. I guess it was a puzzle, like the wooden puzzle with the pieces on them, and like where they were located and where the maps in school said, where it's like North America, South America, like right underneath it. And when I was going to Costa Rica, we flew like down into the west, and now it's like straight down. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just looking up if Madagascar was real, because like I remember playing Risk when you said that. You made me think of Risk when I was a kid, and like I remember always like getting my things and putting it on Madagascar and different places, and like I was like, man, I was like, were some of those
and New Zealand, I am pretty sure New Zealand was below Australia before. That's the way that I remember it, or that's the way that it was in my mind on a map. Not, I mean, it's a pretty decent memory, but it's not an Edmund Mann memory. It's not an Oprah memory. Excuse me. Yeah, there's some crazy ones that you just. But yeah, if you guys are still tuned in, appreciate you guys watching. Come back to the video and put a comment in there if you have anything that I've asked for or that Rob's asked for about either Mandela effects being tied to fallen angels or Mandela effects in general, and then the timeline that you noticed them. Because I think that it pretty much started. I think it pretty much started like in 2012, but I don't know if that's because like that's when people started, sharing these things on Reddit or whatever, or if that's when they actually started happening.
Yeah, and remember, like the video, guys, and share it if you can, and leave a comment. That does help the video, honestly, and it gets more people seeing it. And when we get more people seeing it, it makes more people question the reality of what's going on here. Like, and that's the whole objective, is to keep questioning what is going on here, because, like, Ken raises a lot of good questions. What is this? This is from Jamie Chippett, and she said I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. She says it's I over township of Omeo, Victoria again. Try on your cell phone or computer screen, guys. Google Maps. What's she mean by that? I think maybe I'd say he.
Is there something over the town that's watching like AI? Is that what she means?
All-seeing eye, maybe, over the township of Omeo, Victoria, and try again with yourself. Maybe that's.
If you guys haven't heard me talk before about the all-seeing eye or whatever it is, I also believe that the compass is pointing to something true north, because compass is only pointing to one magnetic north, and if you don't live on a globe, it's always pointing to a direction. So what is that? What is the magnet pointing to? Is my question. I don't know. Maybe somebody has a comment or whatever about that, but the Mandela effect about the heart being in the middle of the body. When you have a heart attack, doesn't your left arm? Is it your right arm? No, it's your left. Your left side goes weak first, correct? When you're having a heart attack.
Yeah, and it used to be on your right side. Yeah, and Missy brings up a good one. She says even in the Bible it says lion lay down with the wolf, and it was always lion lay down with the lamb.
That's just a misliteration of a translation, though. It's like Jesus. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic. When you couldn't fly backwards, like from West Coast of North America.
Can you fly backwards?
Well, no, she's talking about can you fly west?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He points to Stanton's home is in the north. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's where the true drop down is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that, and I don't even know what that means. I just think it's pointing to something. If anybody has any money that wants to do a billionaire quest, they need to fly to the magnetic north and find out what the hell is there. But you probably can't. So
he says Australia, giant flying winged phoenix on top of layered level.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Here's another one. Here's another one that I just saw yesterday. Freaked me the hell out. And this is the Mandela effect too. One of the biggest Mandela effects for this age of people. This is a good one. The magic mirror on the wall. Mirror on the wall. So there's a historic, like, little snippet about mirrors on YouTube right now. I'll see if I can find it, but it's talking about what the history of mirrors were in 1830 to 1870. Get this, mirrors, people, like 25 people returned their mirrors that were made in that time frame because they were seeing images that were not of their reflection, and they were all reporting the same thing. Like,
I saw that, dude. I saw that.
Let's talk about that for a second, because if a mirror, and anyone who's semi-woke will say, oh, a mirror is a portal. A portal to what? How does it work? Is it an energy harvesting? Does it store memory? What is a portal? And then you look at the Mandela effect where it says mirror on the wall, and now it's magic mirror on the wall, right? But
yeah,
what's magic about the freaking mirror? What is it telling us about a mirror? Because I think that all the Mandela effects are all symbols and clues of something in reality that has either changed or has just been off, that we never noticed, or potentially fallen angel changed something. Dude, so I don't know if you guys have seen that mirror video that's online now. They don't have that many views. I don't think it's probably going to get many views, to be honest. But yeah, that's a crazy synchronicity with the magic mirror on the wall, and then they're like that it's a magic mirror. Here, you can have the mirror back. I don't want this one.
Yeah, that's weird, man. Holy shit! Like, let me see if I have any. Let's wait to see if we have more comments coming. But this was a good show, Ken. This was a really good show.
Oh, the other good one is it makes you really think about it. Is all the J word origin names that have been taken out, like Charles Schultz. I don't know how many bathrooms I looked at with the Peanuts cartoon, and it's now Charles Schultz. There's no TZ. It's no longer a word of that origin. And there are tons of people that have lost those letters that are no longer considered that thing or that description. And again, I'm not anti anything. I don't believe that anyone who is of that religion, not in that position, has anything to do with any of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
I don't. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I don't. I think that we're all in this together. That's why I started the channel that says we are one. Doesn't mean that we're all the same. It's that we're all in the same boat, aside from Kendrick Lamar, and they're not like us.
Yeah, I agree. I wish a lot of people would see past religion and be like more. Yeah, exactly. Because we are all one. Yeah,
we need to see past everything. I mean, people sort of wake up in their own way. I do believe in NPCs potentially, but it's only because I believe that we're not all created from the same creator. So
yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
I don't think that people with aphantasia were created from the same God as me. I mean, I don't know how else to. If you don't know what aphantasia is, I don't know what to tell you. Go look that shit up. It means you have no internal dialogue. It means you cannot close your mouth and think of a sentence. Literally, you can't do it. That's freaking crazy to me. Doesn't mean that the topic is potentially that, but I don't think that that's what it is. So there's a lot of there's another podcast called Giant Shoulders, who talks about this with people who are psychologists, and they've done many studies of these people, what they're thinking and how we think. We don't all think the same. That's obvious. But again, I was going to write a book on this about the the version of our brains, how it works is potentially upgradable, which is why we kind of wake up. So our stages of cognition are X, Y, Z, higher, and whatever. And as we awaken, our stages of cognition and our stages of our God-given ability, literally with our learning language model, which is why I call it in my head, will help you find stuff. So I'll give you guys another story that's crazy, but it's true. So we've all heard of Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet. Well, most of us have. He would say he would go to bed with a problem on his mind, and he would wake up with the answer. So I used to run an e-cigarette business. I still have it, but I don't do it day to day. It's my own brand. That's another whole crazy situation. But long story short, this is 12 years old now that I started this company with a friend. And he gave it to me later when my dad passed away, just because he couldn't deal with it as far as his time frame with his job. But long story short, there's an iPad that has a password on it that I have to. Every iPad for my employees had a password, and I'm asking him like, "Yo, I haven't turned this iPad on in like 6 years, 7 years that I had an employee work for me. I've been doing it myself." I said, "What is the password for this thing?" And he goes, "Dude, I have no idea." I go, "It's fine. I'll go to bed with it and I'll remember it tomorrow." I woke up like 2 days later. It wasn't the next day. I didn't think about it. I completely put it out of my mind. I woke up like 2 days later and I was like, Pinnacle. I hadn't seen the password in 10 fucking years. Literally 10 years. I put it in there, boom, it worked. So like there are stages of cognition. I guess is my story. There are stages of cognition that go through our processing of our cloud server or whatever that might be, and we can pull answers out of it. It is like an Akashic field. I don't think that we all have access to an Akashic field, because I don't think that we all have access to the same Akashic field. But I think that we're all built differently, and we are all in different stages of our own journeys. I don't know if there are NPCs. It surely makes sense to me. When I'm driving down the road and I see a guy in his own car with a mask on, still 6 years later, I don't understand what's going through their mind, and maybe they don't either. And maybe that's the problem. That's why marketing works.
Yeah. Wow. This was a good show.
Who's Tim Curry?
I don't know. I'm not sure. That sounds familiar. Like I know that name, or I should know that name.
I don't know who Tim Curry is. I guess Tim Curry had a stroke in 2012.
Tim Curry. I'll look it up. I'll look up who that is.
Well, they're talking about it. Who's Tim Curry, guys? Is that Steph Curry?
English actor and singer. He was in the movie. I know this dude. He was in a bunch of movies. That dude.
I guess. Is he drag? What's the picture to the right?
He was in the movie
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay. I never saw the movie.
He was in another movie too. I can't place it. He was in a bunch of movies. Like, I'd have to look and see which movies. I remember him from an HBO movie or something. Like career. I'm looking this up because this dude looks really familiar. Where do I know him from? He was in Home Alone 2, Muppet Treasure Island, Thriller the Hunt October, Addams Family Reunion in the 80s. He was in the movie The Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was in The Worst Witch on HBO too. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know what made me think of that.
Yes, we got some characters in here now. I don't know what this dude's talking about. God-given right. I mean, Yahweh can bless me too. I'm okay with that. I don't know who's my God. I don't even know.
She said, Missy Hill says, "Sweet transvestite from Transylvania."
There you go. That was a transvestite video. I just saw the side view that you showed.
Well, I guess we could finish up now. I don't know, but
yeah, I appreciate the information back. And this guy keeps cutting and pasting whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Nobody even knows.
Yeah, but we can do another one soon if you want to, Ken. This was great. I thought this was really good, man.
Yeah, this is only like my last 2 days of thinking, guys. So I mean, I've gotten the last 2 months I haven't done a show with Rob, so I've got plenty more stuff. But I mean, I'm trying to connect the dots. If you guys have anything to add in the comments, don't add them to this comment. Add them separately to the comment of the actual video, because this will go away, I believe. I might be able to get it, but it's you can't like really respond to those comments.
Yeah, leave it in the actual comments. Yeah,
but check out my channel. I got some stuff in there. I don't post very often because my technology is really not happy with me. Whether it's Roko's Basilic or whether it's just an older computer that's now 3 years old that doesn't work for no reason.
And here's guys, go subscribe to Ken. Wait, I had it up. Wait, not that one. Okay. This is Ken's YouTube. Go subscribe to it, guys. YouTube.com/weare1podcast. It's real easy. Go subscribe, and then he can, yeah.
Like, it's real easy if you put it in. If you put in "We Are One Podcast," you won't find it, or you won't find any videos. Good luck.
Speaking of, have you talked to Chad? Is he still doing? Is he going to start doing podcasts again, or what?
He's back. He wanted me to go on a show yesterday or 2 days ago with him. He wanted to talk about David Wilcock, who's a Mandela affected. Wilcox, which one? I don't know which one it is anymore.
Before we go, what do you think about Wilcock? What do you think about that whole situation?
I didn't know anything about him. I know he wrote books. I know he was in the New Age community. I never saw him speak. I never read a book. I've seen a couple of videos from Gaia, but I feel the same thing that I feel about Charlie Kirk. And I still feel that way, that those people are alive and well, and they're actors playing a role. And I don't know if they're fallen angels. I don't know. I'm not going to go with that theory, but I do believe that they're playing a part and they're somewhere else. Yeah, I don't believe that they're dead. Same with Epstein. I mean, Epstein's still alive. He's still got a prostate. They got the wrong guy in there. I mean, this is just a joke of a reality that we live in. I don't believe in simulation theory. I know simulation theory exists because of all the things that can retroactively occur, and because the Nobel Prize was awarded for proving that not every effect has a cause. So there's my outro. Look that shit up.
Jason said, "Are we back on for another night?" I was supposed to have Michelle on, Jason, but she's not. She said she had to reschedule because she has a job interview. So I don't have anybody for tonight. But I kind of got to catch up on some work. I got to make 30 shorts for Rumble, and I need to catch up on the audio podcast. And I have a bunch of stuff I got to do. But if somebody messages me and they want to do a show, I might consider it. I don't know. So yeah. Well, yeah, this was awesome, Ken. Yeah, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. And did you want to say anything else before we go, Ken?
No, man, I appreciate it, you guys. Again, don't forget to leave a comment about what we talked about any Mandela affected celebrities, about any evil people could be associated with Mandela effect. It could be signaling to us something. What is it? We don't know. And go link to my channel. I'm going to try to post more. If my computer will work like this, I'll be happy to post videos. But I mean, it drains all my energy. It's looshing me.
Let's do another one in a couple of days. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks, guys.